Hello, Patreon folks. Welcome to another bonus episode. This is part 2 of my bonus Q&A with Melody from Heaving Bosoms. And we are going to talk about D&D. We're going to talk about being chaotic good, auto buys, romantic places, and more. But first, in our last bonus episode, we talked about the care and feeding of long-distance friendships. And 2 lovely people in the Patreon community had such great suggestions and feedback, and they also gave me permission to share with you in this episode. So I wanted to make sure to include these ideas because they are lovely. First, from Elizabeth, who said, "This is such a great episode. Thank you for sharing." You're welcome. "The majority of my close friends are long distance, and I endorse all your suggestions. We also do a once-a-year get-together of the ex-military group of friends that is really laid back so we can just spend time together and catch up on the little things. That gives our friendship fuel for the next year until we see each other again. But in the gap, it's lots of text messages and shared Instagram posts to show and foster the love." I love that idea, and I've been thinking whether or not I want to plan a get-together with one of my long-distance friends, because you ever notice being in the place where you're not surrounded by your chores is really, really relaxing. Like, getting away is great, but also being able to just focus on being together is so important. So thank you, Elizabeth. That is really giving me fuel to get my butt in gear and plan something. Our other comment comes from Summer, and Summer says, this is so smart, "In the same vein as Venmo, I love using DoorDash. I usually have addresses for postcards or holiday cards. So DoorDash is an easy way to plug in an address and have a pint of ice cream show up at someone's doorstep in the middle of a conversation where you can tell they're just having a day, a week, and everything." Oh my goodness. I love this idea so much. I already have the address. You're so right. I have the address. I just plug it in and I have ice cream, or depending on the place, liquor delivered to someone's house when they're having a bad day. I love this idea so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Summer. And now let's get to part 2 of my bonus Q&A with Melody from Heaving Bosoms.
Sarah, have you ever played D&D?
Never.
I thought not.
Sorry.
I don't care. I have one time I had a D&D group. It was very fun. I was mostly the dungeon master.
Oh, well, that was some mayhem.
Yeah, it was
that was some
ridiculous.
chaos.
Oh my God. One time, because I'm a very tricksy dungeon master, because
this does not surprise me in the least.
Yeah. No, I'm chaotic good.
So am I, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why we get along.
B, I also don't number very well. And so, like, one time a guy, he was like a berserker, and he rolled a 1 on dexterity or whatever. And so I told him that in the middle of a battle, he broke both his ankles. Even though, like, that's a really unreasonable thing to tell someone as a dungeon master.
Kind of limits some things there. Kind of throws some monkeys in the wrenches.
And then, because I felt so bad, I told him that he only lost like 4 health points or something. Like, it was just ridiculous. So, yeah. And then the other time I was with the same group, somebody else was the dungeon master. And I mostly just kept on asking him if there's anybody that I could make out with in any scenario.
Fair.
And then like, I'm
roll
kind
to
of a
see if you
pony.
can shtup this thing. Yeah.
Everybody else was like, she stays in her room and sharpens all of her weapons. And I was like, well, my character is going to go and see if she can put a threesome together. So see you never, guys. Okay. What authors and or story elements make a book an auto buy for you?
Ooh.
I don't know if there's like a specific story element that does it for me. It's
Nope.
not.
It's not the story element for me either.
No. I have a lot of auto buy authors.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time I just sort of accidentally fall into them.
Oh yeah. The thing that makes an author an auto buy for me is that experience when you finish the book and you stop and you go right back to the beginning and you read it again. That has not happened often, but it happens enough that I can tell you, okay, the minute that happens, I will be committing to memory this author's name. I will read everything they write. Like, there are a couple of authors like that. For example, Act Like It by Lucy Parker. I finished the book. I went back to the beginning and I started reading it again. I have probably read that book like 15, 20 times.
Nice.
Still works on me. I will read anything Lucy Parker puts out as a result. Because it's just that experience is like, okay, this is very high quality, grade A goodness. And I will, so that experience makes somebody an auto buy. The Cat Sebastian Page series, I've reread that. There's 2 books. I've reread them a whole bunch of times. Murderbot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talia Hibbert did that to me.
Really?
And even with her really, really early stuff, when she was still sort of cutting her teeth on being an author in general, there was just something about like not only the story she told, but like the care I could tell she was taking with telling those stories.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I have some of the books on my Kindle that she no longer sells because she's embarrassed about them, because she was such, it was so early in her career, which is totally understandable. But I fucking loved them. And she's only gotten better from there. So she's definitely one of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of intangible, right?
It's not just one thing. And it's not just one trope. It is the experience of having read a book and knowing that the person is so good at what they do that you will automatically, like Nalini Singh, for example, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that for me is not just a measure of quality, although it's certainly a measure of quality. It's also a measure of trust. Like, I have a whole like ritual that I go through before I decide to read a book. And I really have to be like, okay, do I want to engage with this particular trope? Is it going to make me feel the way I don't want to feel right now? Do I have the emotional energy to deal some extra emotional energy into this fictional universe? Like, when is the book releasing? Do I want to talk about it for a thing? Is there a due date? Like, there's a whole thing that I go through. Auto buy is also auto read for me. Like, the minute I see, oh, there's a new, okay, well, excuse me, that's what I'm reading now. It has jumped the queue and I'm ignoring the list. Got to go buy. Thank you very much. It's not just auto read, it's auto right now. Yeah. So that's part of it. But that all generates from the experience of, this is so good, I'm going to just go right back to the beginning and start over.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. What is the most romantic place you've ever been?
My bed.
Honestly, yeah.
I love my bed. I have a foam mattress. I got a weighted blanket.
It's so great in there.
I love being in bed. That is the place where I am the most cozy and happy and relaxed and the most at ease. And that, to me, like, that romance for me comes with ease and contentment and familiarity. And just, there is no drama. There is no stress. there's no masking. There's no performance. It's just, I get to be myself. And when you're in bed, you are 100% yourself, right?
You are.
Like, when you're all snugged up in your bed, you lie on your back and your boobs roll into your armpits because that's where they go. And it's just, that's
where they have to go.
Yeah. You get your boobs in your armpits, you're wearing your softest jammies. Yeah, it's all good. That's the most romantic place. Also, I don't have to talk to anybody except the people who actually live in my house and sleep in my bed.
Yeah, completely.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the best things we ever did was set very firm boundaries as far as the kids were concerned.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, our kids knock on our door.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Knock on the door before you come in. But like, I have teenagers, I do that to them as well. And I knock
of course.
So you knock on my door, I knock on your door, unless it is an emergency. Like, there was one moment where I scared the crap out of my kids right after we moved here because we had an actual tornado warning. Like, my phone was going off, go get in the basement.
Yeah.
And I just busted open the door. I was like, kids, we gotta go to the basement. There's a freaking tornado. I'm so mad. I want to go to sleep. And that scared the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the tornado part, the part of me just busting in. Yeah.
Mom not showing courtesy in a moment.
And they also know that if I raise my voice, it is because something is unsafe. I don't yell unless there's danger.
That's nice.
It damages my vocal cords and I need them to do things.
That's actually true. I know. I wish I didn't. I wish I only yelled when there was danger. Maybe I'll put that on my 2023 list. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I think.
What about you?
Honestly, my bed is one of them.
Yep.
One of the most romantic places that I've ever been was more symbolic than anything else, even though it
Ooh.
was beautiful and luxurious and all the things. But our first trip to Taiwan, Ember was 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
My first kid, 6 months old. We're still in we're still in the breastfeeding hard
They're not
phase.
even moving yet. You put them down
Yeah.
and they're still in the same place when you come back.
Oh God, it was a wonderful time. Boy, you just put him down. He was wearing a helmet at that point, so he was especially cute.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in one of those fix the shape of your skull helmets. Very cute. And we decided, because it was right, I don't know. I was so nervous about it, but we decided to take like 2 nights away,
Mm-hmm.
and we left him with my mother-in-law and her sisters and her mom at their flat in Taiwan. And Michael and I took like a bus and then a train and then like something else to get to this like hotel / destination in the south of the island. Yeah. And so it was like beach, and it was gorgeous, and there was like a night market right there, and it like the room was fabulous. Everything about it was great. But I think the most romantic thing about it was like us sort of reclaiming who we were before Ember.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You could eat
You
with both
know?
hands.
I mean, yeah, and it was so hard because like at that point breastfeeding, I felt like a piece of my body was missing. Like the kid was always touching me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the reason we went, you know? And even though there were moments where like there were moments where I was just so sad because I actually just missed this fucking baby.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't know, it was nice to just like remember what Michael and I
Mm-hmm.
were like as individuals before Ember
Oh,
and
yeah.
as a couple
Oh,
before
yeah.
Ember. And I got a massage. Like there was this jacuzzi tub that they put me in before they did a whole body massage on me. Listen,
Oh.
there was luxury involved, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it was like the emotional hurdle.
Are all of his family still there?
Not all of them. His mom and dad and sister all live in the States. His mom and dad are like 30 minutes away from us, which is amazing.
Ooh.
I love having them so close. They're so great. But his extended family is all back in Taiwan and Hong Kong.
Because you were thinking about like doing an extended stay there recently, right?
Yeah. So when COVID happened, like we were thinking about like, are we moving there?
Yeah.
You know, I think it would have been like more realistic if I could figure out how to speak Mandarin.
Bit of a
It's like
challenge.
embarrassingly hard for me. So yeah. Yeah. So that was great. That was one of the most romantic trips ever. One more?
Go for it.
All right.
Do the last one.
Yeah, agreed. What is your go-to dish that you can make really well? And what dish can you make quickly that your family loves?
Well, both Adam and I express our love through food.
Ooh.
And one of my kids is a bit of a picky eater and the other is a much more adventurous eater. But the one who's a picky eater, it's all sensory. Like he likes foods that are beige and he goes through streaks where he eats nothing but one food. And so we just kind of like roll. I remember very clearly when he was little, I remember thinking to myself, I could stress about this or I could just not.
Yes.
So I'm not stressing about it. And I didn't want him to be stressed about eating.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he's fixated on something and that's what he wants, I'm like, so have it. The world's not going to end because you had this thing 6 days in a row. Like, just go ahead, embrace the streak. It's fine. So for us, a 4-star meal is something that all of us like.
Ooh.
So that there aren't a lot of 4-star meals, but I have them, I could tell you what they are. The go-to dish that I can make really well and make quickly is probably the cashew chicken that I make.
Ooh,
It is.
chicken sounds incredible.
So there was once this blog. It's still up. You just have to wait for it to load for a while, and it's not being updated. It's the Bitten word, and it was these 2 gentlemen who were married who were determined to use all of their food magazine subscriptions. So they would pick recipes out of the different food magazines they subscribed to, and they would make those recipes. And there used to be a magazine called Martha Stewart Living Every Day, which had really good recipes, and this was from that magazine. So this is not an authentic, Chinese food. This is through Martha Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But it is incredibly easy. I'm making it for dinner tonight. And everyone in my family just loves it. I could make that every other week and they would be like, sounds great. Let's have it. Sounds good.
Wow.
Yeah. The
Can
other
you
dish
send
that
me
I
that
can make
recipe?
I will absolutely send you the recipe.
Please.
The other recipe that I can make very quickly that my kids and I and my husband all love is Instant Pot macaroni and cheese.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Condensed milk, cheddar. What's that white cheese? Monterey
Sharp?
Jack.
Monterey Jack?
No, not Monterey Jack. What's the other cheese? I forget. It's a white cheese.
Mozzarella?
No, not mozzarella. Well, I'll have to look it up. But either way, that's an easy. I made that for dinner last night, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? Tell me. Food.
Okay, I'm not a great cook, but I have a really easy, really clumsy palate. But that makes me an easy palate too.
Palate.
I have a clumsy palate.
Clumsy palate. That's so cute.
I cannot tell you the amount of times I've been like, oh my God, Michael, what is in this? It's so good. And he'll be like, it's still garlic and salt. That is definitely still what's on there.
Garlic.
And I'm like, oh,
salt.
You're a goddamn magician. So I'm really fun to feed, I'll tell you that much. But one of my
Clumsy palate.
truly. But that also means that when I cook, a lot of times I'll accidentally over season it a touch.
Yep.
Like the other day I made spinach. Okay. So I sauteed spinach. All right. The other issue is that I've realized I thought I was just broken, but then I realized that it's my ADHD messed up sense of timing.
Right.
That I can't, like, one pot meals are ideal for me.
Right.
Because if you ask me to get 3 different things on the table at the same time, it literally won't happen.
Yep.
Like something will be between 5 and 20 minutes late. Yep. It's just the way it's going to happen.
Yep.
So the other day I made spinach. In the middle of the spinach, I did realize I had forgotten to make the pasta.
As you do.
So I had to start the pasta real quick. And then as I was thinking about the pasta, I overshook the lemon pepper, not realizing that I was only holding one side of the top down. And so I did cover everything in lemon pepper. And then I realized that as a result, I had covered this spinach in lemon pepper and I hadn't meant to.
Oops.
And that was especially sad because I had already oversalted it just a tiny bit.
Yikes.
And so while everybody wasn't looking, I did sneak that spinach over to the sink and just wash it off a tiny bit. I just ran some water over it and then I put it back on the thing to make it hot again. And then it was delicious.
Well, there you go.
But that's the kind of cook I am, and it's a fucking mess. So, so my favorite things are one dish and Instant Pot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I am actually famous among my friend group for my chili.
Really?
I have sent my chili recipe to no less than, I don't know, 13 people.
Nice.
And when I would like go and visit people all around the summer in college or whatever, at least one night they would like beg me to make chili. So, and a lot of times it's vegetarian.
Yep.
And it's fucking delicious. Anyway, so I love my chili, and that's great because you can make the rice ahead of time.
Yes.
And so then it's just there, you know.
I have a cookbook for you. It's called One Pan Wonders.
Yes,
everything on one pan, one casserole dish, one Instant Pot, one slow cooker, One Pan Wonders.
I love that. Yeah.
So like you put things on a sheet pan and then there's the meat and the veg and whatever else you need. Yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that my family really loves is my red pepper tofu cream sauce. I know that sounds really weird, but it's basically a red pepper cream sauce that's vegan.
Right.
So it has that sort of texture.
Yeah.
And it has the tart and everything else that you would get from like a cream
right.
that you put everything else in. But it's so good.
Can I have that recipe, please?
Yeah. I'll send it to you immediately.
And chili too, please.
Mm-hmm. No
All
problem.
All recipes will be shared.
Yep. And then I have a peanut chicken too, an Instant Pot peanut chicken that I really love. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's fabulous.
But I can really only be relied upon to make chili regularly and well.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I cover my kitchen in lemon pepper.
Well, I mean, it's a good decoration and then you know where everyone is while you're walking around.
It's true. It's true. And sometimes really great things happen because I actually make my chili seasonally. So in summertime or the warmer time, my secret ingredient is lemon pepper, shockingly. And then in the wintertime, my secret ingredient is more cinnamon than probably anybody else would add.
Yeah.
And it's because one time I accidentally did just dump a bunch of cinnamon in there when I thought it was chili powder.
Tastes good though.
And it was delicious. It was great. It was great stuff. So anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me.
This is so fun. Thank you very much. Thank you for being part of the podcast Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. Be back in 2 weeks with another one. But until then, have a really great day. And thank you for being part of our community.